All right, so I'm going to go through actually all three of these problems for you to help you. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of more support, which is what we're all about during distance learning. So first of all, that should have been a squared. Ethan caught that at the end of class. That should be squared. I messed that up earlier too. All right, so let's talk about this one first, the first one. Y equals 4x squared. And I'm going to use some space over here so I don't run out of room, which I usually do. But if I was to label this A, B, C. A is 4, B is 0, C is 0. So if I was to find the vertex, negative B over 2A, right? And how do I find the Y? You're going to plug in X and solve. That's what we did before, okay? So let's first find the X value. Again, this is X and Y. I know it looks kind of confusing, but X there. Negative B over 2A. Negative B. Negative B over 2A. 0 over 8, which equals 0. Anytime 0 is your numerator, the answer will be 0, okay? Now, if the X value is 0 of my vertex, let's figure out the Y value. How do I do that? I plug in 0 here, okay? 0 squared is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. So the origin is my vertex. Go ahead and give me your 5 rows and 2 columns, X and Y, okay? And what goes in first? 0, 0. Now this is the second step of graphing that we have to make sure we found the vertex, we plugged it in. Now we have to go for your X values, you're going to plug in your own X values. I want you to go up 1, up 2, down 1, down 2. Up 1, up 2, down 1, down 2. Remember, these values are going to be the same, and so are these outsides. All right? So let's go ahead and solve this. Y equals 4x squared. Cool. When you solve this, though, let's plug the 1 in. That means y equals 4 times 1 squared. 4 times 1 is, oh, hold on. First of all, hold up. 1 squared is 1 times 4, 4. Let's just make sure we're right here. What's this going to be? Negative 1. Oops, I always do that. 4. Again, we're plugging in the x. We know what the x is here. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 times 4, 4. All right. What about these bottom ones? What if I plug in 2 here? All right. If 2's here, 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4, 16. Negative 2. Negative 2 squared is still going to be 4. Negative 2 times negative 2. 4 times 4 is 16. All right. And I asked you to actually graph it too. I know space is limited, but your y is going to have to go pretty high. Your x, not so much. So this is what your graph would look like. Kind of weird, right? And if I start doing this, I should have used the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I know it looks terrible. It's okay. Excuse me. 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. Okay? Now we graph 0, 0. That's easy. Over 1 up 4. Negative 1 up 4. Notice the symmetry happening. The symmetry, it's symmetrical. Over 2 up 16. Negative 2, 16. Hopefully yours looks a little neater than mine, but I'm going kind of quick. So let's just talk about this again. Find the vertex, plug it in. Go up 1, up 2, down 1, down 2, and just solve by plugging in your x values you put in there. Alrighty, next one. First step, negative b. Now here's the deal. B is already negative. So when I do negative b, that's what it looks like. All right, negative b over 2a. Okay. Negative 4 with the negative on the outside, it's going to become positive 4. Negative 2 negatives over 4. 1. So my vertex is going to be 1 for x. What about my y? Let's plug in 1. 1 goes here, 1 goes there. 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 4 times 1, negative 4, and plus 3. This is going to be negative 2 plus 3, 1. So I have 1, 1. I'm going to move this over here even more. Let's see if I can squeeze this in here. I know it looks weird because my lines aren't all matched up, but it's okay. Deal with it. So it's going to be 1, 1 in the middle. Remember, I'm going to go 2 up and 2 down. 2 up, 2 down. 2 up and 2 down. Now let's go ahead and put, this is the endurance part, is plugging it in. But like I said, you could just do these top 2 and know it's a mirror. It's going to be down here too. So let's do that. And actually, how about we do these bottom 2? Or at least let's do 0. 0 is the easiest one. If I plug in 0 here, cancels out. 0 here cancels out. Understand, when 0 is x, all of this is going to go away. What is it? 3. And that's going to be where it touches your y-intercept. If 0 is x, 3 is your y, that's where it touches the y-intercept. All right? If this is 3, guess what? This is 3. And if you don't believe me, try it out. 2 squared would be 4, times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8, but that's going to be negative. 8 minus 8 is 0. What's left? 3. All right? Now let's do this last part. Let's plug in 3 here. All right? So 3 squared is going to be 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Negative 4, that's going to be negative 12 plus 3. This is going to be 6 plus 3. All right. Let me make sure that's all good. Sometimes I make mistakes. Here we go. I think we're good. And so I notice my y goes all the way up to 9, and my x's don't go that far. I'm going to use my margin here, the red line. Try to keep this neat. I notice my x has to go all the way to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then to negative 1. Negative 1. So that's basically all the x values I need, if you get that. Negative 1's here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then my y's go all the way up to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So technically, those are all the marks I need to use if I'm looking at this right here. So 1, 1, vertex. Oh, remember what my y-intercept was? 0, 3. 0 doesn't go left or right. This is my x value, and my y goes up to 3. 0, 3. And what's this? Over 2, 3. All right? And then, remember, it's not a perfect graph paper. If I did, it would be super accurate. And then negative 1, 9. Positive 3, 9. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Why don't you try, I'll do the last one too. Why not? So let's go ahead. A equals negative 1, B equals 4, C equals positive 1. Negative B over 2A, negative B over 2A, negative 4 over 2 times negative 1, negative 4 over negative 2, which equals positive 2. So positive 2 is the x. If I plug that in there, 2 squared is 4. Don't forget about the 1, that negative on the outside. So that's going to be negative 4. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1. So I get 4 plus 1 is going to be 5. So 5 is my y. All right, 2, 5 goes in the middle. What goes up top? We go up 1, up 2, down 1, down 2. And let's rock this. Let's go. Y equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 1. And remember, you only have to do 2 of these. 2 of these because the other 2 are going to be a mirror. So 0. Again, the easiest one is 0. If I plug in 0 here, I plug in 0 here, right? 0 here is going to be 0. 0 here is going to be 0. So what's all left? Plus 1. What about 1? If I put 1 here, squared, and then 1, negative, or 1 squared is 1, but the negative comes into play, negative 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1. This becomes 5, negative 1 plus 5, that's going to be 4. You better believe this is 4, and this is 1. All right, and you know how to plot points. Don't worry about that. Or you're still going to graph it, but I'm not going to do it for you. You guys got it. All right, make sure you post a picture of your work in Google Classroom.